I'm going to reveal which Spanish accent you should choose to sound natural from day one. But first you need to know why 78% of students mix accents without realizing it. Hola, I'm the Spanish Knight, your Spanish coach. And in the next 8 minutes, you'll have your accent defined and you'll know exactly where to start. But there's a golden rule that only native teachers know, and I'm gonna share it with you at the end of this video. Now let me tell you a story. 3 months ago, Sarah, a student from Texas, wrote to me frustrated. She said, "Ángel, I've been studying Spanish for 2 years. Sometimes I say coche, sometimes I say carro, sometimes I say vosotros, sometimes I say ustedes. When I told a Spanish guy, voy a manejar el carro con vosotros, he looked at me like I was an alien who just crash-landed in Madrid speaking Martian. Does this sound familiar? This happens to 80% of my students at the beginning. But Sarah's biggest mistake wasn't what she thought. It was something much more subtle that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Her mistake was this. She was mixing Mexican words with Spanish pronunciation. Listen to this. She said, voy a manejar el carro con vosotros. No! Did you hear how weird that sounds when you mix them? It's like showing up to a flamenco show wearing a mariachi hat. Technically, it's Spanish culture, but ¿qué pasa aquí? I'm gonna teach you how to identify these mixes, but first, practice this with me. When you hear the Spanish word, say España. When you hear the Latin word, stay quiet. Ready? Carro. Coche. España. Perfect. Ustedes. Vosotros. España. Excellent. Manejar. Conducir. España. Perfect. See? It's easier than trying to explain to your Spanish friends why you sometimes sound Mexican and sometimes Spanish. They think you have linguistic multiple personality disorder. Great! You can now identify the differences, but there's something more important that determines which accent you should choose. Here's the secret that changed everything for Sarah and will change everything for you. Your accent must match your goal. If you want to work in Spain, study there, or travel through Europe, choose European Spanish. If your focus is Latin America, choose Mexican, Colombian, or Argentinian. Seems obvious, right? But there's where most students fail. They think they can mix both just in case. Wrong! This actually slows down your progress and confuses native speakers. No! But there's a golden rule that changes everything. And I promised to tell you at the beginning. So here's the golden rule. Once you choose, be 100% consistent. Not a single word from the other accent. This accelerates your progress 3 times faster than mixing them. Sarah chose European Spanish, stayed consistent, and in 3 months she was having conversations with Spaniards who thought she had been studying for years. Instead of thinking she was a confused tourist with a broken GPS that couldn't decide which country she was visiting. Cool, now you know which accent to choose, but it's useless if you mispronounce the one letter that gives away every foreigner. 90% of students pronounce it wrong, and in this video I'll teach you the secret trick that Spanish teachers don't want you to know. Subscribe if you want to master European Spanish, and download my free pronunciation guide in the description below. See you in the next video. Ciao!